But also something is weird with the what looks like the SD card. And I have 11% battery, so I'm enthused to hurry. All right, freeze frame. Partially to freeze frame, but partially because there are literally no other frames left. And let's jump to me. Hi, this is future Steven, or, I mean, still future Steven, but one day in the future Steven. I got all of the clips from yesterday's vlog, the one you're watching, in Final Cut, and I realized that the clip that I shot stops existing at the point in which you saw it. I do believe that this was user error, but it's kind of awkward because in the history of the vlog, losing clips is something that happens basically never. So there's no context for the next clip. So instead, I'm just going to kind of give you context. I was showing off the pizza that we were making. There was pepperoni and spinach, bell peppers, onions, because we were trying to get rid of onions, pepperoncinis, because we were trying to get rid of pepperoncinis, tomato, because we were trying to get rid of tomato. Just a massive amount of toppings on this pizza. Don't worry, you're going to get to see the pizza completed, so you'll get a better idea. And really, you're not missing much. But this entire situation is weird because, again, we don't often have weird problems happen to the footage. I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow, aka the day that I'm living right now. But for now, I will send you back to your regularly scheduled vlog. So come upstairs with me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, at this point I can't remember. I think it's been over a week now. The passage of time has been really weird lately, so I'm not entirely sure. It's been over a week since we got this thing, the humidifier. We've been using it every single day. I've also been very vigilant about, well, for one, keeping the tank filled, but also I flip the filter every single day. Typically I do it before bed, so, you know, I'll run it all day, and then before bed I'll flip the filter and refill the tank, so in the morning I just hit the button and it's good to go. So the filter's flipping every single day. Apparently that's recommended for, you know, preventing mold and things like that. Now, we suspected that things were getting better up here. It was very gradual, but we did notice slowly over time that there was less static, you know, anecdotally, when we would go to touch things. There wasn't as many shocks that was occurring, and the biggest offender, the couch, had less shocks when you were sitting down and getting up off of it. It still has some of that. Like when you sit down, you can still kind of hear like, but it's not as bad as it was. And we haven't zapped the Elgato Stream Deck, which was one of the things that continuously happened. However, anecdotal evidence, you know, is just, well, it's just that, anecdotal. So Mal thought that it would be a cool idea to pick up, I don't know what the official name for these things are, but it measures humidity. So Mal got this on Amazon, and it was actually really cheap. It was just a few bucks. And it tells you the temperature. So the temperature in the room right now is 73, and then it tells you the humidity, which was at 40%, but now that I'm holding it, it's jumped up to 42. So supposedly, you're supposed to hover somewhere between like 40 and 50%, and that is a good range for not having everything get zapped. And I've learned a little bit from having this for just a few days. We had been running it, the humidifier's got low and high settings. I've been running it on high for days. And running it on high for days, when we first got this and set it up, it looked like the humidity was about like 50%, something like that, in the high 40s, 50% range. And, you know, at that point, I was like, okay, it seems like it's probably in a good range now, and we hadn't had any shocks in a bit. So she said, you could probably move it back down to low. So I did, and from moving it back down to low, in a very short amount of time, like, the humidity dropped. So it's clearly necessary to keep it on high. And there might be, you know, a day, like one day, maybe half a day, that we need to drop it back down to low so we don't, you know, put too much humidity into the house. But it's clear that, yeah, it needs to stay on high for it to do something. The other interesting thing is we don't sleep with the heat on. I sleep a lot better when it's cold. Obviously, if there's a night where it's like super, super, super cold, then we might have to have the heat on, but usually I don't. So when we wake up, the humidity is higher. So when I come upstairs in the morning, like before we've turned the heat on, I can look at that and it'll be, you know, much higher. When I turn the heat on, it starts going, you start losing humidity pretty quick. I tested this the other day on breakfast stream. So from whenever I'd come upstairs, I don't think I turned the humidifier on. I think I left it off, or I had it on low or something. But from the time that I woke up to, you know, after breakfast stream, which was just a few hours from when I woke up, the humidity dropped up here from, I think it was at like 52 or 54%, and it dropped down to like mid 40s. So it's a big drop. It's just nice to have some data. You know, that little thing is pretty beneficial because it gives you a better idea numerically what's actually happening. Because without numbers, you're just kind of like, well, the shocks are happening less, which is true. They are happening less. But the numbers help you understand, you know, just at a glance where the shocks are going to resume. So it seems that for now I'm just going to have to keep running it. Eventually we'll get to the point where we don't need to have heat, and once we stop having to run the heat, I think all the shocks and stuff will stop. But until then, because it is still winter, I don't really have a choice. I have to run the heat, so if I'm going to do that, I might as well make sure that I'm not destroying equipment up here. The pizza's probably about ready. It's a good-looking pizza. It's a weird-looking pizza, but it's a good-looking pizza.
I don't think it's weird.
Well, it is weird, because most people that get pizza... I mean, first off, pepperoncini is kind of a weird pizza topping.
Yeah.
But, like, that amount of onion, I guess it's not... It's kind of like a really bizarre Supreme.
Yeah.
God, it's so heavy. Pretty good, honestly. There's a lot going on there. Mm-hmm. A lot of flavors. But it's pretty good. All I'm thinking about right now is the fact that we still have so much onion. Mm-hmm. We have onion in the fridge, and we have onion in the freezer. Mm-hmm. And we gotta keep finding ways to use it.
Oh, the freezer has a plan.
Oh. So the stuff in the fridge doesn't? Correct.
The stuff in the freezer is for fajitas.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come up with a plan for the rest of the onion in the fridge. I mean, we can make more pizza. I like onion, and I like it on pizza. I think it's good. But gosh darn it, we have in excess. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can keep the humidity under control. We've only had that meter for a few days, so I'm going to continue to watch it and report back as I know more. But as it stands, I feel comfortable enough at this point saying that the humidifier that we bought, it does seem to work. And it's pretty impressive considering it's just a little one, it's very inexpensive, and we don't even have it in the room that we're trying to affect. You know, having it in the bath, I'm sure it would do better if it was just in that, if it was just in the office. I feel like the rest of the house
is better too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I haven't shocked this table as much.
Because it's circulating the stuff?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I mean, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it would probably do better if it was just in the office proper, but there's not a good spot for it. There's just not. There's not a lot of surfaces in there, and it's a lot easier to keep it in the bathroom. But it does seem to be working in there, so if you're having trouble with static at home, something to definitely consider. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we? Nice crunchy crust.